So I have the opportunity to live stream briefly, which is not an actual live stream unless it's on the laptop. So just one of the things that I guess topics that came up this morning again is about the criminal behavior, okay, in the Massachusetts, um, where I feel it's a good thing that Mass Health is covering more dental treatments. Okay, but what is happening is you have providers that refuse to take that insurance, and outside of a certain city area where you store hostages that you made homeless and keep homeless on purpose. Okay. And then in those areas, they refuse to give me a dental cleaning. Okay. So one of them made up a complete lie that um, my well sense went through, but not my mass health. And my therapist, who's a social worker, by the way, already told me that's not sane. That's not true. Well sense is mass health. Okay. So it's a whole bunch of nonsense about Mass Health refusing to change my name to my legal name. And that's the reason. Okay. Um, you might say the other one, Quincy Dental and Southern Artery, get it? Okay, that's where homeless people are stored, and so us people in Central are stored. Okay, because we're hostages, which is part of crimes against humanity. You can't target a private U.S. citizen for a Holocaust. Year 15. So that's within your world system in terms of you don't want to talk about God and the Passover and your extinction. You're violating crimes against humanity. You've committed war crimes. Okay. So they told me they refused to clean my teeth unless I allowed them to do unnecessary dental work. They did x-rays and then said there's nothing going on in my mouth. Okay, then the secretary said they wouldn't clean my teeth unless I allowed them to do dental work and put a crown in. So it's twofold, however you want to look at it. I mean, you're clearly in the Passover, and you've committed war crimes. You've committed crimes against humanity and treason and fraud. So because you know Mass Health covers dental work, you're saying you won't clean people's teeth unless they have unnecessary dental work so you can make more money. So, in my opinion, your brain is making up excuses for dementia. Right. It's making up excuses where you don't want to clean my teeth because I'm too pretty and you don't like me. So, you shouldn't be allowed to have a business here in the state of Massachusetts. Why it's being allowed, I can't answer that. But it's definitely not being allowed by Almighty God. And then you need to ask NATO if it's being allowed by them and ask the US military if it's being allowed by them. Not your friend or your brother who's a private and has nothing to do with submarines and nuclear weapons and nuclear material. Those people are just grunt workers that do what they're told to do by their superiors. They don't know anything about that stuff. Right. And the most sinister part of it is I'm the person who told you about it. So it's universal health care, it's Obamacare. And you're doing it to me. Yeah, you just clearly it's some sort of whacked out envy, like you're a literal animal. And so you just take a look at me and I'm there with my husband, and here we are, a cute, happy couple, and you're not going to clean my teeth. So you're going to give me periodontal disease so all my teeth fall out. And you think you're going to enter into the kingdom of heaven? Even if they're not killing you with nuclear weapons. Okay, so then I just sit around and wait. Eventually, your body dies and you exist no more. That's your deal. Okay? Because either no God exists and when you die, that's it, you're dust and you exist no more, or God exists and he's turning you into dust and you exist no more. You're not staying in, you're not going to a heaven where good people go that don't do atrocities. Just a reminder, I was talking to my husband about it this morning, that Almighty God tells us in the Holy Bible that the world loves their own and they hate God's chosen people. It's right in the Holy Bible. Does that mean that you're purposely doing stuff so that we're God's chosen people? I mean, mental insanity has no bounds, believe me. So, yeah, I'm sure that that's disturbing for other people when they find this out. They go, they're covering this, that, and the other. Not for Mary, they're not. That was like when they refused to give me eyeglasses. They even told Man at Health they weren't going to pay for it. And then Man at Health sent me to collections when I have Mass Health. It took me 14 years to get eyeglasses, and my eyesight has greatly been deteriorated, along with my dental health and my medical health and my mental health. So, anyways, I when people bring up God and stuff, don't bring up God and stuff. Don't bring up God and stuff. Because then everyone's going to point out to you there's no possible way you're going to any heaven. You're going to take your last breath and exist no more. Praise Allah. You just go, you don't even attack the people who in the past wouldn't let people on Mass Health get dental cleanings and stuff. You're attacking the woman that other people attacked in 2011 and 12 and 13 about universal health care. You're attacking the very person that would have given you all that money where you go, yep, we're going to do this and that. You don't need to be telling a person who doesn't need dental work, she needs dental work, or you're not going to clean her teeth. That's just nothing but an excuse. I don't even buy fraud and greed in that instance at all. And then the other thing about once you're in housing, you get all this stuff, in particular free food. When you're not in housing, you can't. That's why you refuse to house me. Okay, so clearly you're not going to heaven. Just like I told the people at Dedham District Court, it's your world and I'm just a prisoner to you. And they both just smiled at me. I just told you you're fucking damned. I don't know what you're smiling about. Probably why they flipped out and then dragged me back in for round 2 with a lawyer and a different PO. Yeah, like sinister to the point of aha, smiling at you, and I just go, it's your world and I'm just a prisoner to you. And they think that's great. We can shut off your DTA cache at any moment and issue a bench warrant. Ah ha ha ha. Probably because the face mask thing isn't going anymore, where you couldn't get on a train or a bus or an airplane to get the hell out of here. Because that's when that insanity started, after that insanity ended. So, anyways, today's Friday. My Social Security hearing is a week from Tuesday. So, my husband and I are just waiting. I haven't heard anything about his case yet after he saw a doctor that apparently is a cardiologist. There isn't a need for him to go to the appointment today anyway, because he has a provider somewhere else. And because of transportation issues, it's not going to be possible. Okay. And I don't know if you watch the weather, and I was talking to my husband about this. Um, I'm apologetic, but not apologetic about the hotspot. It's obviously going to be late. In hindsight, but how would I ever know this? I shouldn't even have took it or just dropped it off before I came out here. I had no idea that I'd be out here this long. I don't think anybody can like look ahead and see that all this stuff's going to happen. So if it, I might lose my ability to check out stuff at the library again. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna walk to a train station, okay, to come out there and return a hotspot and then sit up all night in the pouring rain. Okay, just she's having car issues. She doesn't even have a car right now. Okay, so it wasn't a necessary appointment. Yeah, like the appointment was made to make sure he had his prescriptions. Okay, he has a provider through a different Volunteers for America, so he doesn't need that. It was basically to make sure he had a provider set up, and then again, the one thing that they were asked to do, they never did. So why would we keep going there? Right? It's like, can he have a physical? No. Okay. And then I explained how some case manager made up that they tried to contact us when they never did, and then left a message on his patient portal that, of course, goes to me. Okay, saying that they left several. No, you didn't leave any messages. I'm with them 24 hours a day. You didn't call. You didn't text. Okay, this is how you leave messages, by the way, on the patient portal. And then within 2 minutes, you got a message back, and I never heard from you again. And then you get paid. It's all just a bunch of nonsense lies. And I'm sure it's way worse with the homeless population. That's why it's vitally important for me to get out of here. Just explaining it to my husband. I cannot get medical care or dental care in this area. I have to be able to leave here. And then if it comes down to it, I'll have to literally pay out cash from a Social Security to get my teeth cleaned. It's a literal holocaust. Okay, so I don't know. This is my hopes, but I know God is getting rid of them. I know that. But in terms of the short term, you hope what the guy is saying about the drugs, he's not going to declare a declaration of war. He said, and I'm just quoting what he said, he's just going to kill them. I'm not sure they have to declare a declaration of war when you've committed crimes against humanity or treason, really. Okay, that's not a war. When you're just euthanizing criminals, that's not a war. You can't actually, you can, I guess, you can say you are. How about that? You're going to wage a war against people with thermonuclear weapons when you don't have thermonuclear weapons. Okay, I guess we'll watch that war play out because your only recourse is to keep committing the crime that's causing you to be euthanized, which is what you're doing. You keep attacking me like you think I'm the military or the military cares about me or something. You're completely deranged in the heads. You just keep committing the crime that's causing you to have to be euthanized. That's your idea of a war. Because you don't have a boron shield. You yourselves don't leave and try to go somewhere else to get away from the nuclear weapons. You don't have a boron shield and you refuse to stop the criminal behavior. That is why other people, like the two therapists I was talking about, I've had, right? They know is when they're hearing about this stuff, okay, they know that something is terribly wrong because it's crimes against humanity and treason. They know that. When you have a governor whose wife was working with my ex-husband who outlaws Florida alimony after what 10 or 12 years of this because the other governor refused to do it. And that was some excuse in those people's demented minds about what was going on and why this was happening. because it's dementia and it's criminal animal behavior, and your brain is making up why you're doing it. Because it's easier for your psyche and your brain to accept that you want to get rid of alimony. So that's why you're doing this to me. In that instance, yes. Because when I was flown up here on a one-way ticket, you started the nonsense in Florida and kept demanding that Governor Scott sign it to get rid of Florida alimony, and he wouldn't do it. So then you have a governor whose wife worked with my ex-husband, and now he signs to get rid of it. Okay, you got rid of alimony. Why are you still holocausting me? What is it today? Healthcare? You have healthcare. You have healthcare. You can charge Mass Health whatever you want, and they pay for it. So what is it today? You got housing. You got healthcare when you already had it. You already had it. That's how insane you are. You had universal health care, you fought against it, and then you're gonna get it anyway. And then the reason you probably don't want universal health care is now you're gonna deny people you don't like health care. Why you don't like me, I can't, but I can explain it. You're just gross animals. That's why you don't like me. That is why you don't like me. I gave you the ability to charge Mass Health because I supported universal health care. Even though I didn't vote for that guy, I was all over the internet explaining it to you guys about the government shutdown and universal health care and stuff. And you said to me, is Jesus going to pay for that, Mary? That's how sick you are. Apparently, Jesus is going to pay for it. The very people being freed themselves. I saw it all over the TV in 2020. And then you have the other fraction that doesn't like it, and they don't like me. Yeah, you like me because you're not human beings. That's why you don't like me. Excuse me, pardon. You're not doodle bops. That's why you don't like me. You're a different species. Okay? So I guess to culminate it again, it's being explained to you why you can't keep cycling back here and you cannot live in heaven. With the end of mimicry, we're not even at the end of that, because this is a mimicry because I was born from a non doodle bop. So this is mimicry, and you still can't deal with me. Okay, you can't exist in the kingdom of heaven. That should make logical sense. In the same sense that I'd rather die than keep living here with you folks and then this new society that you're making, you would rather die than for me to just be free and happy. You would rather die than for that to happen because you're providing things to all these other people except for me and a very small fraction of people like me. You're getting everything you want, and you still can't stop trying to kill me and having a burning hatred for me. So if I exist in the kingdom of heaven, you don't. All you can try to tell yourselves, like I said, as the brain dies more and more, is that you're superseding the Holy Bible. Does that sound like you? The Bible was written by prophets. That's one thought idea, not you have to follow that. And you've been tricked your whole lives into following Christianity or believing in God and believing in morality. When you never had to do that, you can do this other way and stuff. Most definitely dementia. Like I said, I've known different people. It depends on your psyche and your upbringing and your brain matter. This certain, but they're all doctrines that should sound recognizable. When I say, "Are you thinking this, that, and the other?" and you go, "Yeah, I am thinking that," I guess you can tell yourself that that's God, and then that's your thought idea, and God's telling me that, right? But then you have to believe that your thought idea is correct. In the thought idea, okay, how are you going to do anything with the pollution and the fact that you don't walk anywhere? How are you? Is it electric cars and solar panels still? Or at some given moment, then you'll walk? At some given moment, that is that why you keep trying to do it when I told you God's not letting you? Like, if that given moment has to come, don't you have to kill the people that are stopping you from doing it? If it's been 15 years and I don't conform to your thought idea, am I ever going to do that? And the rest of the people, the other fraction who don't want the new America, are they just not getting it still? Are they not getting the secret knowledge? Have you explained it to us fully, or it's a secret that we have to figure out? Like, are we all in a process of coming into your thought idea? I don't know. I think you have Christians fully explaining their belief to you, regular Americans that explain how America works and the U.S. Constitution and international law. Right, like how your system is set up and you don't have people just laying on the ground and you just pick and choose who has housing based on certain characteristics, and you don't decide that they get worldly benefits like dental cleanings and cash money based on your criteria. If they're against that, are they just not getting it yet? Is that something they'll conform into getting, or do we just die? I would think there would come a need eventually to kill us, right? Because we're preventing you from entering into your progressive new community system where everyone helps everyone and everyone learns to be a community and a slave, and someone else decides who has a family and who doesn't. And then the other side becomes more and more horrified that they would have to kill you, right? Because you're clearly not giving up your thought idea. They're not giving up their thought idea. And there isn't any other thought idea in my head. There's not a secret thing I'm going to figure out and agree with you or know about you. Right. That's why they don't keep a secret when asked questions, nor do I. But you folks definitely do. When you're asked repeatedly, what's going on with this woman? Why doesn't she have housing? Why did you say that you don't take Mass Health, but you take WellSense? Why did you say she doesn't have insurance? Why do you refuse to change her name to her legal last name? What's going on? And you refuse to answer that, then it's some sort of secret that you're doing, right? Barack Obama went over some of it. It's part of like grandiosity. I don't know if it's right. I'd say it's part of grandiosity where we're too dumb to understand the truth of what you're doing. Because I don't know, are we too selfish? We're archaic. We're too old fashioned. Like, say the basic farmer. Say you had a basic person, they quote unquote owned 200 acres of land, they produced their own food, they had a well, they have their own family there, whether it's generational or not, and they don't rely upon you or the system in any way, shape, or form. What are your thoughts and ideas about them? Are they selfish? Are their children being abused because they are not privy to your world and you can't socialize with them? Are they? Is that bad? What's going on there? Is that not fair? Because there's a reason you stole everybody's property and houses, so and you don't just come out on a TV like a voting thing. That's why you refused when I told you before all the blocking on the internet started. Don't do it like that. This is what you need to do. You have to completely exodus the system because you want to change your government, right? There's a way to do that. You have to completely exit it. Don't vote, don't work, don't partake in that, okay? And then you propose to the people around you what you think is going to work better. And then those people tell you if they want to do it or not. That's not what you've done. You infiltrated the United States of America and you just think you have a moral superiority to do what you're doing because other people are bad or something somehow. You didn't even come out and go, we're waging war against you, and then start fighting US citizens. That's when you should know one, what you're doing is wrong, because why not just present your idea to us and we decide if we want it or not? And two, you're criminally deranged. God Almighty says what he tells you that you shout from the rooftops, not you infiltrate a government and take it over and then force it and force it and force it against people because you think that we're dumb. When you're actually sick in the head, you have dementia because primates don't talk. They just take over an area of land. There was already people here. It's the United States of America with the Constitution and laws and a system that you've completely destroyed because you didn't even want to listen to. Taxes come in, that's the money we can put out. You wouldn't listen to that. You just said just print money and print money. Because that system prevents uncontrolled growth. You're not sane and you don't listen to any person explaining it to you. You concoct that everybody is plot planning against you to keep you down and that these people are giving themselves stuff, not they worked for it. If you had to be taxed and pay for all these things you're demanding, it controls growth. Because now look at yourselves. It comes to a point because you're so dangerous that then, yes, it's like just beyond Germany at this point with just trillions. And we're in cajillion dollars now because you think money just comes from the sky. There's a plot plan. It wasn't a system set up to budget you. That doesn't exist in your head. I can't afford 14 children. You just keep doing it. I can't afford a house. I can't afford an apartment. But somebody else can. And that's not fair. No one was giving out houses to people. They were working for them. They had to put down 25% and then pay all this interest on it. So again, the farmers, okay, who are just self-sufficient, why did you destroy that? clearly, if you're a progressive, as they call it, which means you have progressive brain disease, you did it. That's that thought idea. That's that thought idea. Doing laundry, so I have to be mindful of the time. Oh, it's right here, 30 minutes. Duh. I could go on and on and on and on and on. In life, right? When you know that your mommy or your daddy, okay, doesn't have a college degree, they don't read a lot of books, they don't watch the History Channel, okay, and they don't own a house, maybe you should ex- go and get educated yourself and stop listening to them about why your life circumstance and their life circumstance is what it is. I do think something has happened where you've had too much immigration by people that don't actually believe in the American way. Obviously, with the outside dining and public pedestrian sidewalks a part of their restaurant, and that what they're doing at the dental office is something you do. And I said it to Brian. I go, I just went to CVS the other day, right? And I clearly have coupons and extra cash on my CVS account. And there's a sign that says that that trail mix that I buy is on sale. I put in my phone number, I ring it up, it's not ringing up the sale price. None of my coupons are showing up. I first I know already know because I don't even want to deal with it, right? And I tell my husband to go to the other register and ring in his drink. I'm not even going to get the trail mix, right? So I press the help button. There's one person working there. She runs over to find out what's going on because I need it voided off of my account. They don't even give you an option to just void the entire transaction, which they should. Okay. So I'm not leaving that open with my account on it. Okay. I explained to her, it says it's supposed to be on sale for $5.99 and it rang up as $9.99. She doesn't even fucking care. Okay. So it used to be Massachusetts law that if you charge someone something and it was not that price, I'm supposed to get the thing for nothing. They don't even care. Okay. And I am not going to a grocery store in the United States of America like I'm going to the Grand fucking Bazaar and haggling to get a food item for what you fucking said it was. Okay. So things that'll cause a person to go into a rage and you just think that that person is PTSD and this and that. It's because you're fucking insane. And I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this fucking European, whatever that is, South America, fucking uh, Turkey shit coming to the United States of America. I'm tired of it. Go home if that's what you want. That is not how we conduct fucking business here. We don't put tables and chairs on a pedestrian fucking sidewalk in the United States of America. No, we don't. We don't constantly go and interaction. It's supposed to be this price. Like I'm haggling for a fucking trail mix. Just take the $5.99 down. I'm not having a cup of tea. I'm not buying that gelatin shit with you because I don't even want to talk to you. That's why I'm at a self checkout. I'm tired of work is treating people like we're pieces of shit. Don't work. Okay? I'll see you down on the fucking ground where I sleep. I am not the person worth forcing you to fucking work, and I'm tired of this shit. I'm the person you people tried to fucking starve with your face mask insanity. And what you're doing to me with the fucking medical care when I said everybody should have free fucking medical care. I'm getting it from both fucking sides, and I'm tired of it. It was already decided probably about 2013, at least by 2020. No more of it. You're back to regular United States of America now. That is what I support. Okay? Medicaid covers it, grand. Stop telling me I don't have the coverage. I got to do this and that. You're fucking criminals. And I hope that the Attorney General closes those 2 dental offices for criminal behavior. You're not the DTA office. If you're not providing the homeless people in Quincy and Central dental care, then we're not being harmed by those 2 dental offices closing. And you can go fuck yourself and then see if you can find an insane dentist to hire you fucking people somewhere else doing that shit to people. Just a reminder, I went to school for dental assisting. I gotta go rotate the laundry soon. I would think maybe 45 minutes tops. He doesn't usually go over there with me when I rotate it, but I probably will. He went outside to smoke. I just told him this morning, I go, just know this. Because I did a whole thing, and then I was like, I guess essentially what I'm saying, babe, is don't think that God is doing this to us, because he's not. This is people doing this to us, not Almighty God. And he tells us in his book that they do this. That's why it's the end of their species. That's what the end times means. It's the end of their species. Not he's allowing them to actually be doing this. This is a temporary state. Right. He pulled us out of the world, and the world hates us and loves their own. It's hard to not just keep going. These people are so sinister and evil because you're animals with brain disease that will not halt. Yeah, just you clearly housing to you is a tree. And then I'm not sure it's because we won't conform into your trees and shit, whatever that is. Yeah, we'd rather die. We'd rather die. And then even when you sort of try to do a mimicry and do it, you still reject us because it's like I told Brian, they can smell us like that woman at the grocery store. Because my sister was like, well, that was rude. And I told Brian, I go, you know what? If she was in line by herself, that woman wouldn't have done that. It's like they can smell with that we're not a Neanderthal. Yeah, she was just wicked, wicked mean. And my sister was like, that was very rude because she didn't want to go through the self checkout. I think she thinks that they should have to work or something, something like whatever that is. I like the self checkout. I go to the self checkout for a reason. Yeah, like if you're not me, you don't live my life day to day unless you're with me. And that's at least the second time where my sister's been shocked by these people's behavior towards me. Right, like, if my social worker I mean, my therapist was with me when I went to the dental office, she would have been shocked too. They'll do it right in front of other people, they can't control themselves. Whatever. So God probably doesn't allow it because, you folks would probably kill them and then you go to jail. So, yeah, like, the transit police, the woman at Star Market Dedham, the guy at Star Market Dedham, remember that? Who just started screaming at me, and it was like a 15-year-old working the service desk. He looked like he was gonna climb over the desk and kill this guy. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, like, it's brutal. It's, like, brutal to watch. It's like someone beating a baby seal with a bat. I'm nothing but meek and nice to people, yes. Like, you folks with the internet sometimes get the brunt of my, venting, but you just go that if you ever met me out in public in real life and stuff, you'd just be like, "I this is the same person?" Yeah, I'm not bipolar, it's just you don't understand what I've been through for 15 years. How sick people are that you don't realize how sick they are until they interact with me and you see how they treat me. And you just go, I don't, my sister once said to my mother, she just turned her head and goes, "Why are you talking to her like that?" It's shocking. Like, because she was abusive to all of us, but it's like it got so bad with me. It was just, what is going on with you? All right, I gotta shut this thing off. It looks like he might be coming. See if he wants to go with me. Oh yeah, I'm kind of in fear right now that someone's going to say something when I'm actually doing my sister's laundry. They're at services for someone that passed away that was living here.